I guess for once we can listen for a little bit for the Crusader King soundtrack. That's not Crusader King soundtrack. That is the Trails of Cold Steel, that is. That is not part of the normal soundtrack. Okay, that's probably gonna get me into trouble. I bet you're late to complain about it now, isn't it? Well, much rather nice and relaxing though. Guess we're gonna have that about. Yeah, this time we're still going to continue with the usual format of being a nice, proper Christian for a while. Must because it, how to put it mildly, it is rather fun to fall from grace, so to speak. Not so much for the characters involved, but for us, for players, it can be very fun. Now starting as someone who is a bit more virtuous is actually a rather nice way of setting things up, I would say. That's how the idea at least goes. I'm gonna start in Aachen again. I do like this starting position also because you have the Palace of Aachen there, which is a pretty cute little extra building you have there. And you know, we have something. You basically can become a duke immediately. You could also, of course, start getting claves first. I'm gonna keep the basic methodology. Oh, god damn it, language is not going to be my strong suit today. I can tell as much. Going from the last few times, which basically involves having more or less the other parts of our nice little family line and getting out there and doing things. That's kind of like the goal for the moment. So yeah, without much further ado, we're gonna push the start button and I'm gonna prepare my my pipe, I suppose, for the moment. However, one more thing I will do before I do this, I'm gonna go here and reload Twitch, because it's not showing me. That's yeah, that was a bit of a hiccup in the bitrate there. Kinda not liking it. I think the phone has finally decided to load properly. Good. Oh. I haven't really listened to the soundtrack of Crusader Kings 3 in such a long time, because usually I just replace it with other music, so we have fun experience. Okay, that's gonna come later. That I don't care about. That I don't care about. I shall become a learned woman, as I'm very much made so. Whatever, nice. Small health boost. Always a good idea to have a health boost, isn't it? Be healthy. And I'm of course not married. Anything else? I'm not employing a court physician. We can change that immediately. We can go to the Pope immediately and go like, hey Pope, give me some cashew, please. And you can say Man at Arms, of course. We have 1 unit of armored footmen. To be fair, that's not a bad start, you know. I do like starting with armored footmen. Also because armored footmen are just knights. What's not to like about fucking knights? I can tell you, not much. Okay, and well, that's gonna have to load in once we get time running. Change time once again. I think I choose to make you German, didn't I? Yes. And I think this time what we're going to do, we're going to try and remake our faith. What do you have built? The Hunter's Lodge and Bastion Curtain. That's not a bad start. I'd like to get those here as well. I would like to start with walls and towers for some reason. Well, I mean, you know, extra tax and extra protection is kinda just neat. No reason to even think about it. So, anything else? Military will be dealt with. You, my little people, promote culture, promote Germanism. Also, that means that since Germany is not around yet, and well, no German heritage is around yet, we are of course also going to very easily, barely so, become the culture head of the Germans. But of course, it is not all. No, yeah, that was smart of me. I forgot that I actually did not empty this one completely. Didn't even lower layer still. Oh. Okay, that's something I need to deal with soonish, because now I've made a bit of a mess that I'll need to deal with at a later date. Right, husband. That did remember there was something. What would we like to have? We would like to have something. Let's not look too much about age. Something that is fertile would be neater. And ruler. How about somebody who's actually ruling something? Yes, not really interesting. Don't we have anyone who's maybe a bit higher up the tier list? Ah, welcome, little strategy. To my own form of a bit of relaxation after yesterday. Jesus fucking Christ. How are you on this fine day? Feeling good? Feeling relaxed? I hope. Trying as well. Don't really... Not really too interested in marrying a fucking mayor. Have I created a problem in my little pipe? Yes. I have Ace Combat 7. Oh, the Ace Combat games, from what I remember, are no bad choice. Although I only really know the older ones. I mean, you know me, strategy. I'm not saying no, especially not to. I mean, I don't know if they're still good, mind you. So sure, I'll fucking play some Ace Combat. I'm making an 8 about it. I do remember the old ones. I think the last... What was the last one I played? Don't fucking even remember. That was still PlayStation 2 or 3 era? Somewhere around that timeline, mind you. It's been a while. I do remember that they were fun games to play around with. How to put it mildly. A lot of the systems they had were kinda, you know, pretty arcadey, yes, you know, because if you actually were to introduce real flight controls into your flying games, most people would be like, yeah, that's not so fun. If you want a good example of that, Microsoft's Flight Simulator is a very good example of that. How to make things disgustingly realistic. I mean, some people really get up in that and really enjoy that experience. I, for one, am more like, have a controller. Can I use that to fly my plane, please? Well, fun little card games. I'm absolutely up for playing them. No questions about it. And I'm still... God, fucking accumulator. Not my day today, I can tell as much. Shitties. I really enjoy going into the towers on a certain day. Ah, the Twin Towers. And all of their glory. I do love when you play really old games and that are actually set up in America, and you actually can still see the Twin Tower standing. And you're just sitting there like, yeah, those won't last long. I mean, it happens, and you know, nothing to do about it. They do. Because if you actually manage to get yourself either somebody to edit the map, or you have a very old flight sim, you can actually do that. That's a bit of bad taste, but then again, you know, the old playing kind of stance, you know, nothing is above humor. That too shall pass, indeed. That is indeed something that our friends from the East came up with as a saying. Although friends. The Persians really don't consider most people friends, to be completely honest. I kinda hassled about it. So what would be... Well, I guess my main problem is that I'm a countess and not a duchess. Because this time, little strategy, we are a woman. We have given up our balls to become the Holy Mother herself. Very aptly titled, I think. So let's see here. If we cannot find ourselves at least someone. I mean, I'm always gonna marry down to some degree. How about Lambert? How about somebody Dynasty. Claims. Pressured claims. Add claims to the following titles. The Duchy of Aquitaine. It's nice, but kind of French, and I don't really want Frenchies in my bloodline, although disgusting. Robert or Robertine, you have quite the nice amount of titles to your name, but you are also very much French. Couldn't we get something at least closer to us? Difficult, isn't it? The Earldom of Eilik. Kingdom of Bulgaria. Pretty sure we engaged with the Kingdom of Bulgaria once before. Then again, all of my children would get those titles as well. Track this good for you game. Oh, sure. Well, I will think about who to fucking marry to sponsor our offspring. Okay, I need to remember how to do this on Steam. Jesus Christ, you have a lot of faith in my ability to do things. Where was that option? Steam, come here. Okay, there's my little Steam. How do I do this again? I think like this, didn't I? And we use the power of copy and paste, a very powerful copy, and... Ooh, look at that, Steam is like, yeah, it works. How big is this game before I make any promises when I will play this? 60 gigabytes. Oh boy. Haha. This Saturday I'll be gone to the funeral. Well, they need the funeral of my uncle. Meaning I'll be gone from the from midday on Saturday until probably midday Sunday, because I'm gonna stay the night over there. A bit of too much of a hassle to come back in the late evening, because this event is going to start at like 5. Leichenschmaus, yeah. Try to find that word in English. Basically the after funeral meal is gonna start at 5. So by the time we're finished with that and everything else, it's probably gonna be relatively late. So I'll let this fucking nice little thing, I'll just let the PC sit here. Hopefully it won't restart or anything. And I'm gonna start downloading this on Saturday. So with some luck, when I come back on Sunday, we can actually just start playing this. Sounds like a good plan, doesn't it? Maybe sometime next year. Yeah, depending on how we're doing it, it could very well be. But back to my idea here now. He is a 38-year-old fucking old-timer from Bulgaria. He is of the wrong faith. However, he has claims to the King of Bulgaria, the Duchy of Mosenia, the Duchy of Dragula, and Duchy of Lopolish, and a lot of other things. Now, the way that inheriting title, of course, works, that is, your children do tend to get in a pretty damn direct claim to your titles, rather obviously. So this would actually be a pretty nice thing to set up, because I am absolutely going to revive Little Strategy again. Little Strategy has already suffered in this particular game quite a bit in this time. He was born to become great Duke, I think even, over in Bulgaria once, and well, then he died and was reborn as a girl. That happened as well. Happens to the best of us sometimes. Yeah, let's involve ourselves with Bulgaria again, shall we? That's not going to hurt us in any way, shape, or form. Of course, it's going to be a matrilineal marriage, meaning these are all my children. Fuck you and all you stand for. Otherwise, we're gonna have an immediate KO, and I kind of would like to avoid that. Let's do this. And now, as we all know, you know, since sadly enough, Christianity, especially the old Christianity, is not really that forthcoming when it comes to women's, but you can still be a very, very devout believer. We're going to start getting some piety up, and hopefully in our lifetime, create our own little offspring of Christianity. You know, a bit less of the short fighting that guys like to do with the penis, and a bit more of the good old-fashioned scissoring, most profoundly. Which also, you know, I looked for something that would at least somewhat look like, at least, you know, be the womb tattoo or something clearly lesbian, but there's really no emblem that makes it, so I just have two little vaginas, basically. It's the closest I could find. I do know that you can actually add emblems into the game, but I was like, I can't be asked to find out how to fucking do this right before I wanted to start streaming now, can I? The answer is no, I couldn't be asked. So just take the two vaginas and be happy with it. Yes, thank you. I do love that the Pope still loves me. Not as much as he would a man, Why do I get an achievement? Actually, this achievement has popped up like 20 fucking thousand times at this point. Like, why? Well, now we have a strong alliance, of course, with our husband's country, which is good. And we kind of would like him to become come over to our side. Officially, you're now Catholic. That is good. Stop it with the orthodoxy. It's annoying. It's gonna make you get very hated in your own country, but I don't fucking care. We have to turn all of fucking Bulgaria into fucking proper Christian believers. We'll fucking do so. Now, anything else I need to do immediately, or can I just let the game run while I prepare my pipe? Pay homage. That would be a good start. Just go over there real quickly and go like, I have a good one here? No, of course not. No, but fuck it. It's 5-minute walk. Okay, maybe a bit more than a 5-minute walk, but you get the idea. It's not that far. Surely nothing will happen in our own country. I must admit, this is actually a rather interesting time period, isn't it? When the Central European... oh, follow me. Somewhat slowly become more... unified. Away from the tribes and into the idea of a bit more centralized powers under... Yeah, I've gotten divorced from... Okay, she's no longer a spouse. Ah, cute. If we had waited a bit, we could actually have tried to marry our king. Well, tough luck for us. And our upcoming children, hopefully. Maybe. Now then, in order to at some point make a Christianity that is a bit more pleasant on the women's, basically we're going to turn this all around, you know, not much is going to change, you know, Christians are still going to go to church and see the people in the skirts, nothing will change there. We might add a bit more scissoring, as I said before, into the doctrine, but that is basically all we're aiming for at the moment. And in order to do so, it would be rather advisable to start our pilgriming to get goody-goody two-shoes points with the church, wouldn't it be? And before we do any of that, we'll have to make the most important decision. I really hope this mod never breaks, because it hasn't been updated in fucking don't even know, like 2 years at this point. Still works. Not perfectly. It still works. Still need to much pledge. Rest of well, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Add me to tourniquet. I'll fucking do it. Patient screams and smashes, even though 3 grown men weigh him down. This is what happens when people are, you know, profoundly scared. It's calm and eventually a quiet focus settles over us. I'm not sure how we managed, but in the end it seems like the soldier will live. Of course. I am literally that good. Well, time to do this again, eh? I have indeed no worries about 3D. I do love that this mod, without even saying, so has added actually some music in. Oh, this music is probably going to get me in trouble. Pretty sure most of that is copyright, isn't it? You know what? Fuck it, we're just going to let it play a little bit and, just gonna silence that particular part, isn't it? Probably. Could be worse. Not as much as YouTube in that regard. Now then, turn everyone into animal. Because, you know, it's not recommended. So of course you're gonna want to do it. Da 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 da. Game lags for a little bit. Now then, how have we turned out? Oh. Ah! Kinda an interesting picture because some of her hair is still kinda just there. The rest of us is kinda gone. It's a very interesting style you have created, your game. Is that's kinda broken at this point. Just a little bit broken. Just a tiny bit broken. But alas, I really don't know how to get it away. Meh. Now then, with that out of the way, we should probably plan the first pilgrimage. Which is always going to be a very short journey first, because all we have to do is go over to Cologne. And go like, hey, we can't do this because we haven't been pilgriming yet. We could do that, which ups the cost a little bit, but meh. And as for our goal, I guess reflection is good enough. My Carrot Master looks a lot more pleasant now, though. On we go on a little adventure. It's like, look at our hardcore pilgrim ways. Walks for 5 steps, goes over to Cologne, goes like, wow, I've walked the holy path. Quite literally. Is what they say. Which reminds me, there's another game I would really like to stream, and I will never stream because Twitch will immediately shut me down if I so much as try to look in its direction. Did you know that Twitch actually had a list of forbidden games? I didn't. I looked it up. It's a hilarious list. It includes such classics as Replay. Now, if you remember that game and the controversy about that particular instance, then you're also pretty damn old. And of course, all of the Sakura games, which is basically small little Yuri games that popped up at some point, and I had completely ignored for the most part, but they're all forbidden by Twitch. As well as they have some very interesting, broad stipulation when it comes to judging if a game is for streaming on fucking Twitch or not. If you follow these rules specifically, then you couldn't even play anything, basically, that so much as risky anything. Exactly what the game I'm talking about would most definitely be on that list if they knew about it. They probably don't, because it's old as sin. I think early 90s is pretty much the date. Which is what was. The 90s were great for random, small to medium to actually big Western developers suddenly, after some solid games, deciding that, you know what would be good? A fucking porn game. That was amazing. The art was also pretty damn fucking amazing. In many cases. The old, very old style of over stylized comic, basically, sort of style. Really amazing. Of course, some of these games were bloody fucking hard as fucking sin, because, well, apparently if you let people the freedom to choose, they'll make it fucking annoying to play. And they did succeed in that, very much so. What I was thinking about, it's actually a very much a hardcore, when I think about it, double hardcore, because there are two very different interpretations and both would be applicable. Real-time hospital simulator. Now boy, is that game fucking hard. Really fucking hard. I remember really grinding my teeth against it and not making much in the way of progress there. Fun though. Of course, very much so a parody, and there's a modern interpretation of it, and I found it of all fucking places on GOG, and I was like, are you sure about that, GOG? Well, interesting choice of a game to pull on there, but apparently they found that to be just peachy, I suppose. I mean, not that I'm judging them in any way, shape, or form, but I actually do like the idea of getting all of these old games in a workable fashion again, because some of them were really fucking fun. However, bold choice. Approvable bold choice. Very much so. I do have an ally down there. Well, I guess we can plan to take over this part again, because technically speaking it belongs to my duchy, so let's plan that out, shall we, for our future endeavors. As we usually do when we play Aachen, which is kind of what we do most of the time. But yeah, I do remember the old original game. There was no disclaimer whatsoever to its content, because, well, I mean, I kind of wanted to make a different game, which you can clearly tell from the opening, which is basically space, humanity, and, the future. And then you're suddenly like, okay, and now you're just, a hospital director, so get working, I guess. The new version on GOG actually has a disclaimer, was like, yes, this is all parody. Doctors and nurses are very much very important people and shit, and you're like, yes, game, you made it obvious that you are a parody. Literally, you hire fucking nurses by the bust size. Literally. The game, you don't need a fucking wall of text to tell me you're making an attempt at parody here. I'm well aware. fucking reception room has a fucking dead guy with a knife in his chest sitting there, and you need to click on him to get new patients in. Yes. I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious at this point. It's a fucking RNG game. But a fun one. Fun to play. If it weren't so fucking hard, that is. Because you will fuck up once. You will be unlucky with recruiting people in the first place. And, well, game over immediately. It was over the first day. Amazing. Really, really fun though. Quite, I'll recommend it quite much. Take a look over at copy. You're gonna find it. It's not hard to find, technically speaking. Gonna take us a while to become the culture head of the Germans, because right now there is no German around, so it's gonna have to check out. But I think if we get all of these 3 territories to become German, that would be enough to establish the culture. As for our dearest religion, I mean, we're gonna play nice with the Pope for the moment, of course. A rather valuable lesson. No, that's good. And, yeah, because recreating the face would take quite a lot. I mean, we need to be a duchy, that's not a problem. We need a lot more religion, we need a name, and then we need to set this up. If I were to set this up, let's see, what tenants do we wish to have here? I pay some money, the king gains some opinion of me. Okay, fair enough. Country conversion resistance plus 9%. Infidel vessels are less likely to join independence action. Make scholar a virtue. Not a bad choice. Must spend piety to reforge or repair artifacts. Interesting. Okay, such a meditating solution. Blah blah. Astrology. Carnal exhaustion. Makes lustful a virtue. Mean Schiffer. Communal identity, communal possessions, Endura. Technical details. Oh, interesting. Tradition of pain, ancient false conversions. Yes, interesting. Sacred murder. Huge. Yo, little Terry, welcome. Gnosticism. Islamic invasion, Jewish invasion, legalism, ritualism, wicked preachers, person, I have nice few options in here, although I can already see this is going to cost an arm and a leg in fucking 8 points. Yeah, that is going to annoy the living shit out of me for quite a while, I will imagine. Oh well, I only have to suffer this for this generation. Well, technically speaking, also maybe the next generation. Kinda depends, doesn't it? Okay. We go back to this one, try action review. Yeah, said everything, just you can't read any longer because, well, short-sighted at what? Age 18, Jesus Christ. Not boding well for you. Really not. Our claim is almost ready, and I kinda probably, they're not allied to anything, I'm probably going to go for it as well. Alright, not good. It does have an ally at the moment, which is kinda not so nice. Yeah, right in your little diary. Like, today I woke up looking like an anime girl. However, my hair is still kinda there and clipping through me. Annoying. I guess war's not really an option for the moment. I mean, it's kind of 50-50. The forces are kind of equal. They do have a bit more than me, though. I probably should build up something else. I don't think we need Onagas just yet. I guess that would serve as well. We're gonna upgrade them to size 2 as soon as we can, but that we might get the a slight advantage in troops. And once that is done, we might consider actually going to war with him for our rightful part of our domain, because it is. Look, I'm not lying. It's part of the Duchy of Jülich. Can't even deny it. Game says so. Very important point to make, actually. But to pick up a previous point I was trying to make, I do wonder if there's a streaming platform that would be less anal about risque content. Because there are some of these old fucking games I really would like to play at some point, because I can see having a lot of fun with that. I have to look into that as well at some point, don't I? That doesn't look like a bad idea, since, what was it? Was you? Yeah. Since you hate me and you have a pretty big domain, having somebody to hold my my back is not necessarily a bad idea. Also means that technically speaking now the warfare should look better. Should we risk it is the question then, or becomes the question then, doesn't it? Okay, let's wait until the footmen are full. And I guess then we'll just fucking go for it and see how it works. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I have the power of fucking saving the game. Something in common. Sure. Become my friend. Who the fuck even are you? My marshal and court physician, yeah. Befriend your court physician. That sounds like a good idea. Maybe. Because after we're done with the war business, it's back to pilgriming. Because if we do want to create a pleasant Christianity for our little women, so that she can truly call herself the Holy Mother, we will have to do it ourselves. As is always the case, you know. If you want it done right, you'll have to do it yourself, one way or another. I would ask the question, why the fuck is this random guy in my personal fucking bathhouse? Because I'm assuming I have a personal bathhouse, and if not, I'm pretty sure that even back then they would probably, very specifically, make that gender exclusive. Also, I'm pretty sure she doesn't have a ridiculously tiny I mean, technically she has the most ridiculously tiny because she has none between her legs. I guess that is true, but otherwise we would have to assume that you're, insulting my titties. That's not really fair. They're kind of hidden, but not bad looking. I'm probably overreacting. You know, I don't think you can really insult a woman's penis size. That is a difficult task to achieve, I would say, and not that hard to try, but pretty hard to get any lasting damage from that insult. I would just, politely point out. Almost full. Getting some more time. Hard to find, good-looking boys to become light footmen. Pretty hard. Come on, fill up. You might be thinking to yourself, no, how they look could never be one requirement for your foot soldiers. You'd be fucking wrong. There were certain Prussian who had a very, very, very clear-cut fetish when it comes to that. Made a whole unit of very strong, very big lads. Because that was precisely what he was into, basically. The army is a fetish object. Why not, I suppose? Okay, how many troops do you have yourself at the moment? 629. That's not enough. Prince Bishop Franken of Lothringer, please accommodate me in my endeavors. Raise the armies. And we're gonna go over there and immediately take the barony way after to get some pointies. Thank you. My brother in Christ, quite literally, because I think he's actually a lowborn, just priesty. There he comes, marching ever proudly forwards. He actually has a lot of troops, which I kind of find enjoyable. Now, how about my husband? Has he any troops to give me? Damn it, husband, where are you? Are you a ruler? Prince, Governor of Bulgaria? No, you're just here, are you? We should get some help from Bulgaria, shouldn't we? Hello, Bulgaria. Are you willing to send me some troops? No? Okay. Fair enough, I guess. Fuck off then. I'll have this under control, me and my church bro. We fear nothing. I mean, for the most part. There are some things we fear. But nothing the enemy has. At least not for the moment. I think they're probably going to try and siege some of our territories as well. They really do love doing that. But once we're done here, we're probably gonna go down and try to prevent that from happening. Also, beating up the army is going to do us a favor. Or two, or three. Since they started a bit late, we should absolutely get our job done before they. Yeah, that would be useful. If you want to become the Holy Mother yourself, you'll have to work on that whole very difficult concept, at least for some women, to, keep your legs closed. I know it's difficult, but you have to learn restraint. I know, difficult. But that whole fucking around is not just a male thing, ain't you? Not at all. Yeah, come on, finish up. So that we can start beating them up in the most brutal fashion. Are we done yet? Yes. Attack! We should have the numerical advantage, most definitively. Which hopefully is going to work to our advantage, yeah? Looking good so far. I like the way the blue bar is going. Actually, this is a more pleasant blue bar to watch. But this is more pleasant to watch than what we get in Victoria. Kinda saddening, isn't it? Well, Victoria, you are really a bit of a disappointment, aren't ya? Still. Not so much Victoria 2, but Victoria 3, yeah, still very much so a disappointment. Will it ever get better though? I wonder. And I wonder indeed. Secrets of the body. A question about the human body and all the secrets. Yeah, the fact that you're flying here in front of your eyes is probably why you're so interested in the fucking secrets of the body. I should study the ravages of disease on a corpse. Ladies of the body deserve our respect. I mean, technically speaking, yes, even through the part of the Renaissance, the church had forbidden dissections. However, at least for parts of Italy, there was of course one very simple excuse that they could use to still get away with doing that sort of shit, namely Carnival. Since everything is permitted during Carnival, you could get away with shit like that. Bit of trivia out of nowhere, don't know why, just, you know. Something then tears open and a stream of vicious yellowish ichor spills all over the operating table. What was that? A good question. Sure, let Arnold help you. I'm sure he's going to tell you. Okay, let's wait until I'm no longer able to provide any assistance. I have been unable to continue my experiments with human anatomy. No! Arnold, what are you doing, you bitch? You are supposed to be our guiding light and help us. Oh, hello there, neighbor. It is I, your friendly neighborhood army. I'm here to remind you that that is my territory. Okay. Yep. Oh, is the war already over? I was short. Enforce my demands. Demand a hostage. Confirm. May your years be short and miserable. You are a much greater foe than I imagined. In order to put an end to this bloodshed, I will comply with your demands. Please don't kill me, is what he's saying. While bitching and moaning on the ground like a little fucking coward. Am I... Yes, I'm an ordained ruler at the moment. Which is good, because that means more renown for our coffers. Also, now, since nothing has probably changed since the last time I took a look on the latest DLC for Crusader King 3, the one that truly and outright brings upon the honestly just the annoyance of the plague, not so much the rather nice little things you can do with it. Was, at least to my last knowledge, as I said, I have really looked at it again, are still pretty much a fucking nuisance. Which is why I would advise you to do what I do and not actually buy it, and just use the very basic bitch features that you get without the DLC, because that is a lot less annoying than the alternative. For once I actually have managed to create a situation where playing without the DLC is more fun than with. Which is probably not a good sign for them, but hey, you know, until they continue to fix it and until they, you know, finally start putting Crusader DLC on a nice sale, I would still advise people to not indulge that particular one. This time it's actually a bit of fitting trivia for our little... That's not against me. Last song you claim on the Kingdom of East runs here. Yeah, I kinda figured you would try that. So many do. You're actually winning for once. But the problem is the AI is very, very much so terrible at actually holding their countries together, which means even if they win, and this all becomes Lasrenga, gets Nito for like 5 minutes, and then it's gonna start breaking up, because the AI has no fucking way to actually get under control. They try. Sometimes. And fail. Pretty much all the time. I'm really not good at it. Now that we have all the lands, though, we can create the Duchy of Ulick, which is one of our first steps we need to take to redefine our faith. However, we also need to get a lot more piety going. Which probably means another pilgrimage will be in our near future. I do like pilgrimaging, it gives me lots and lots and lots of good points. Yeah, I had a captain, good. If we do this so, and very much so. That would be 123. Yeah, that's not bad. Not nearly as pricey as it needs. It could be, let's say. Okay. Away. Really. Guess we're gonna lie back, relax, and wait for the good news of, well, either our money coming back to us through the Pope. Alternatively, getting pregnant would also be rather nice. I have to say. Just tiny little bit of pregnancy. Which is going to be a bit difficult because I'm pretty sure I made you, I made you a lot less, but didn't I? Seemed fitting when I was creating her, you know. Also works well with all of that, you know, Christian repressed sexuality. Works pretty well with that, I'd have to say. Yeah, everything else, not gonna be able to upgrade those reasonably and as well. I guess next we could get some Onagas once we get one more man-at-arms regiment. Hello, Popey. The Pope is like, you again? Yes, I'm going to bugger you for the next, well, depends a bit on how old I get, but at least for the next 40 to 60 years. Imagine how much money the Pope spends on you. You can do it like, I don't know, once every 6 months or so. I don't even fucking know how long it takes. It takes a while to cool down, basically, but by the time it has cooled down, usually if you are somewhat of a faithful Christian, you have some of the virtues going for you, the Pope will like you enough that he will give you money again. I mean that over the years, you will take such an enormous amount of money out of the Vatican state. That's, let's just hope that nobody actually does the math. Otherwise they're gonna look at you and go like, yep, you owe us a bit more. And yeah, and that's probably when it's going to break. You had a good run here, but now you're getting involved in an independence war. Well, you know what they say, you should first take care of the home front before you look outside. As I said, you know, the one thing the AI is very good at, because it's not necessarily a good ruler, yeah, I spent a lot of time, you know, running around cuckolding each other and being mean to each other for no fucking reason, apart from they can. They are pretty damn good at creating interesting messes, you know, on the map usually. I think I've seen like 1 or 2 games in Crusader Kings 2, mind you, where the AI actually managed to be reasonably peaceful for quite a long while, actually. Which even back then I found hilariously interesting, because that doesn't happen often. Of course, you know, it didn't last, because, well, what were you expecting? Actually, do I also want to consecrate my bloodline again? Because in that case we would need to actually take Cologne for ourselves, because we do need a holy site, and as you have seen through the pilgriming, Cologne is a holy site. Note itself is not really important right now. Carefree sounds a lot better because less choice. Note itself is useful though, because it tells you, like, you know, as long as it's a proper death through natural means, not, you know, the most natural means of a ruler dying, namely a knife in the back. That one is not counted. It tells you a year before and when you die, which is of course rather advantageous, as you do need to kind of plan your succession just tiny little bit. Actually, are you perchance, no, you are just... You would like to fuck me, huh? I think I'm also chaste, which is also not going to help if that is it. Yeah. Chaste plus far more into ladies. That's not going to make the task of producing an heir any easier. However, you know, since we have at least until, give or take 40 if you are lucky, until our fertility is off, I guess we still have a lot of chances. Foreign rival. Conflict between East Francia and Lothringia interested me little, until my council summary of the Battle of Weihingen appeared. Somehow I know, even before I open it, that it contains good news. Among dispatches it reads, we confirm that Count Rainer was killed, staunchly resisting the Lothrangian pikemen. He was slain by Hilfric, knight of King Ludwig, in a fierce encounter. Killed but Gorinet disorder and died fighting my wars. Shall buoy my spirit for days. Good riddance. Indeed good riddance. That's going to make me a lot less nervous about my southern front in the long run, which rather enjoyable. And when it comes to random alliances, you know, having a random alliance with, you know, someone like this, the Prince Bishop, a lowborn ruler through divinity in this particular case, and not the one that puts you on a throne, but the one that puts you in a fucking skirt. Actually not a bad thing, because these people rarely actually go to war. I mean, you know, I would have to help him defensively, but at least he's not going to offensively annoy me overly much, which I do find rather enjoyable. Actually, where is my my thing? Also, I should probably help along my relationship with my little husband Tony. I could learn his language. What do you speak? Slavonic. Yeah, that's not gonna help me much. What does my king speak? My language? Of course not. He speaks the French language. Okay, let's ignore that. Husbando, come here. We're going to seduce you. Gonna be a bit stressful. And the chaste woman suddenly decides to come up to you and go like, hey, wanna fuck? And he's like, you sure about that? She's like, not really, but divine will has, well, no, let's say divine inspiration has struck me, basically. Yeah, let's claim that, shall we? Actually, kind of surprised that this war is still going in the positive, while he's losing his independence war. How bad is the independence war, actually? Oh, it's a bit much for me to get involved in, honestly. I was about to say, yeah, of course he's going to be involved in it. Giving him another, you know, little, nice little, hit would be nice. Well, don't worry, strategy, the evil plans are going quite well. I mean, we have turned into a nice little waifu, and we have a bit of a problem creating an offspring, because surprisingly enough, you know, the Lesbos of this world have not really the tendency to jump into the next best man's arm and start with that whole fucking loudly and proudly to do so. But I have decided to give her some divine inspiration to, you know, finally start seducing her husband. It's going to be a long journey, but, you know, apart from this, everything is nice and simple. We've taken over this part of our duchy already. Now we're just going to well, do what I said we would do, basically. Go on the next pilgrimage to get ourselves some more brownie points. Yeah, we need some captains. Oh, the plague is over there. Because as I said before, the evil plan is to create our own little, far more pleasant religion sooner or later. Which means we need as much in the way of faith points as we can get our hands on, realistically speaking. As that is a pricey endeavor. Not an impossible one, not an impossible one at all. Just takes a bit of patience. More pie sounds good. We do need that piety. We need to at least, for the foreseeable future, be good at being nice and dandy. Yes, yes, you have walked the holy path again. Which makes us all happy. Who the fuck are you? Wondering. I don't care about you, but if you decide to go somewhere else, then, well, so be it. Go ahead, feel free. Alright, my court position apparently does things. And as for everything else, yeah, let me translate that for you. I would like some walls and towers here as well. And I think next we're gonna get some fields or something. Soon. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna teach the Sunny Boy and I convert his culture as well. We have, of course, taken a hostage, because, you know, we're not that nice and forgiving. No. Yep. Let's not get involved in foreign policy while we are bored. That sounds like a terrible idea. Hello. At some point in the future, I do have to find some platform that will allow me to play a bit more of the very old and far more risque games from the 80s and 90s, because some of them are really, really just great. I really feel up to playing them. However, they would survive precisely 0.5 seconds on Twitch before Twitch goes like, ha ha ha, go fuck yourself. I'd rather avoid that particular fucking. It would probably be rather brutal and spiky. I'm assuming some spikiness will be involved. I would not enjoy that at all. Quite unfair if you think about it. Now, just trample him. You shouldn't stop a whole entourage, you know, randomly on the street. Simple reason for that is, well, I mean, they're on horse, and there's a lot of them. They could decide to just trample you. Still elude me, but I can feel I'm onto something great. Aha. I may be able to succeed in my courtship yet. A little nudge, and perhaps Wickman would sing of my virtues. Aha. I mean, to be fair, most men just generally assume that women are kind of okay with children, you know? It's not really a trait that... she's new at this game, you know, this whole dating game. She's still young, she needs to learn. Let's do it, make your mistakes. Squad. Apparent and Duxie and Stinky being thrown around a lot. Slander, you say? That child will get its upcoming when it goes back home and realizes, ha 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 ha, it's German now. Okay, he apparently had another war going on. How many wars have you going on, my little leash? Master's Gift. What would you like? Let's look at your stats. You're somewhat learned. Sure, give him some poetry. It's the best stat he has apart from fucking diplomacy. I'm unsure of the reason. Wait a minute. God damn it. This is not working well. Seducing is apparently not her strong suit, which is not surprising, considering how probably relatively brutalish, Christish upbringing, I suppose. And again, she's a secret lesbo, so I guess that's not gonna fly as an excuse to me, at least. What was I doing again? Yeah, I was looking at you. Oh, no, not much. You have an interesting waifu, though. The picture looks far more scary than it should. Who died? Ah, my priest boy died. Oh well. Now then.